trying to hang out with my friends today in 5 classes. You know, you're gifted or autistic or ADHD or like any of these things. What is the answer? What is the answer for us to create community and succeed financially in the world? It's not an impossible one. It is just a unique challenge. That's what we're on this journey here for. Is for you and me and all the other friends and the cool people to figure out how this works. How are we going to create the community where we can thrive?
Oh my god, babies. I'm feeling a little bit sick right now just because the last week has been wild. And I didn't film anything today because I was in the moment. I feel like I need a moment of stillness to when I get home to process with you and integrate this experience because I really want to take what happened today, the rituals that I attended. Have you ever felt like there are different parts of you? I mean, there are, but that there's different parts of you. And if they don't get, and they're there for a reason, you know, I mean, but there's my survival self, right? And he's been showing up all the time. And when he's driving, he will never drive us back into vulnerability. He will never drive us back into safety. Because he is driving for a worst case scenario. He is driving based on fear. And I'm grateful for him. Like, he's saved my ass so many times. Today, I felt back into some real world play and my body. I dropped into my body in a movement space, and a lot of stuff came up for me. The moments that I showed up as myself tonight and figure out how to carry that into the pit of my being. Something that I'm sitting with, and I don't really do like the guilt thing like I used to do. I feel this pain in my body. I showed up at my friend's art party for 15 minutes. Like, he puts magic into the experiences that he facilitates, and these crystals and this music, and I had a whole room for people and a wonderful baked goods that were really good for gut. Wonderful room that was for decompressing or overstimulated, and there was tarot cards and candlelight, and I just had this remembrance of that space. If I don't have that level of intentionality, if I'm not, in my practice and in the energy and sharing those gifts with others and creating community in that, I'm so excited to connect with all the people that were at Community Dance because we're just getting started. It's called the Monthly Movement Play Shop right now. I connected with this one person there, Kyle, who I met, I think he was in one of my earlier vlogs, but I met him when I was in one of these states last semester, and I went to a coffee shop to put up a flyer for the dance. And of course, Community Dance Shakti Moves is the thing that I'm doing that's not financially anything at all. And I put so much time into it because of the intentionality. It's my one outlet for that. So with that in mind, being at the dance last night, seeing my friends, seeing people who I was feeling that energy from and that intentionality from, seeing my friend Angel and being like, oh fuck, I love this man, the energy and the intentionality that he puts into everything. It reminds me that that's okay and that that's possible. And to remember that there's so many more people there doing this, and the more that we network and the more that we work with each other.
I would not advise going to college like this to anyone. I almost walked out of math class today. I think that I have cried, like angry cried, like panic attack, all types of stuff. Probably at least 5 times in math class during the semester. And I was legitimately considering walking out in the middle of the class today. But I'm keeping to it, and I'm actually got a little bit more hopeful by the end of this class. I'm gonna go to his office hours. I'm gonna go to tutoring. I'm already half of a semester in, and at the beginning of class, he gave us an opportunity to revise our first tests in order to get more points back. So there's definitely more hope. Just being in a better financial situation because my refund came through was giving me more hope. So yeah, I don't know. The urge to leave and quit was really, really strong, but I just keep getting these moments and these glimpses of hope from
1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Open. 1, 2, close. 3, 4. Here it is. 5, 6 and 7. Continue. 1, 2.
dropping any classes, which might be a mistake, but I'm gonna see what happens. If I fail any of these classes unrepairably, I can retake them. This day was really cool. I ran into a friend on campus and chatted with her. I had a consultation with this group, this couple runs an organization called Holistic Kink. They do play parties and they do kink education. They do workshop that's preparing you for when you're done with your undergrad. And for me, that was preparing my Vita and statement of purpose. So we had that meeting today. So it's been a lot of like looking at the future. I think it's gonna drop my GPA under a 3.0. And that's my main concern, is that I don't, get scholarships or whatever. If at some point you do everything that you can, there's nothing else you can do,
Of some things that are being done to try to keep that traditional activities alive. And so some of the most successful things, like I said, is we'll talk later when we go into.
So this is 16 minus 16, and that's 0.
If you don't acknowledge the thorn in your arm, you can't take it out. I think an acknowledgement needs to be made that community care is vital. And that's why I do the work that I do. And so I'm hoping that this vlog can also be kind of talking about how sometimes it's not always that you get through college or some tough experience like this, by staying regulated and by staying in your higher self and by staying in this way. There are times when I choose low, like the last several months, just choosing lower vibrational choices. Like, you have the ability to shift between that and consistently seek support for the unmet needs. I think having high standards is really good. I have high standards for my community and for my education, and so I feel it when that doesn't match up, and that's good. And that means that I have to compromise to get where I want to get to. And when I'm using certain types of coping mechanisms to manage my stress levels, it is natural. It's a part of me that's attempting to protect me. And I love him and I'm proud of him. That used to come with some kind of like subtle hate. Like like this rebel part with the punk gear who's the one who used to be addicted to alcohol and all that. Yeah, I love that he was there for me in that time period, but I really don't want him to show up again for exiling this part of me and saying, I love this part, may he never ever return, so would it be. But like, that is not how I feel now. I feel that part shows up, and because I listen to all of those parts without judgment, it's a complete acceptance of these parts. It's a complete like acknowledgement of the highest self that wants these things to be this way, and the part of me that comes out and self-medicates when they want to survive. There's a lot more conscious choice going on, because I don't pretend that I have the ability to be in high vibration in imperfect circumstances, and there doesn't have to be blame anywhere. There can just be flow. You're perfect. You're great, and I hope that you have fun. What did you say, buddy? The water's over there. It's midpoint. If I keep going at the rate that I'm going and not taking very good care of myself, April, you can tell I'm out of breath. It's the carbs and the not exercising for me. But yeah, I know I'm going to be able to get through March and April, and it's also the caffeine. And May is a little tougher. So.
For example, Jamie Kruger from Lockhart, pure blues player.
Continue for 2 miles.
A small but friendly crowd of folks that like this stuff.
Awesome. Well, let's hear a little more of Pace Pepper. This one's called Right Down the Line.
Meeting notes. I love that I'm meeting a lot of people here. It was with Veronica DeWitt, a body shift and dance abilities method. I learned so much. I'm not feeling well at all. I'm pretty sick, but I did do my stats thing, and I did come here. Last night I talked to my partner. I think I told you they led me through, yesterday when I was having a horrible panic attack, they led me on a scavenger hunt through campus, trying to find a sensory space that they really like. And when we were on the phone later, they talked about how if the worst happened, and I didn't make it financially, or I was evicted, to remember that I'd always have a space, and we talked about some other stuff related to that. I started laughing uncontrollably because she's a great facilitator and she makes space for people, things to come up for people. And what was coming up for me is she was giving prompts about connecting to the people in the space and not just being really introspective. I've always been very introspective when I've danced, but I was finding that through working with her and other dancers, the dance teachers and stuff, including Amy Morrow, that and Erica Santiago, that I'm getting better at connecting with other people in this space. And as that was happening for me, was connecting in my brain with like how I don't have to rely on only myself to get through this at school. And so I'm going to reach out for support, living support, and see how that goes. But a lot of it was more just the sentiment of the fact, like, I'm not alone. I'm not, and it really can ask for support. Yeah, the Dance Abilities method was great. I'm loving getting to know more of the people here. If I was only focusing on survival, I would never be able to do these things. I want to put more of my heart and my soul into my craft, into my body wellness, into my facilitation skills, and the only way that I can do that in my dance, and the only way that I can do that is if I don't just live in survival mode my whole life. So yeah, things are happening, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay.